Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I wanted to go ahead and share with y'all my all-time favorite fall lippies. I just love fall in general. I love the aesthetic, but I feel like with eyeshadow I'm like always going different directions, and I'm like sometimes I'm drawn to one color scheme, sometimes I'm drawn to another. Every once in a while I'll do a run-of-the-mill fall look, which is kind of what this is, but a little bit of the green makes it a touch different. But overall, I feel like during fall, the thing that changes the most with my makeup style is the lipsticks that I'm drawn towards. I just love specifically like really warm, orangey, mustardy, brownie type colors. So I went through, I pulled out my top 10. I'm pretty sure I have 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, my top 10 fall lipsticks, put them in a little box. And as you can see, there's definitely some really interesting tones going on here, which is definitely what I'm drawn to. And I just love fall lipsticks, so I'm excited. I feel like I don't talk about lipsticks that often. I wanted to do a video with my favorite glossy lips, and I still plan on doing that eventually, but I just felt like out of nowhere I was like, ooh, fall lipstick. It just always ends up stealing my heart when the leaves start falling. My lips turn orange, basically. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about each shade one by one, and I'm going to go through and swatch them all on my hand just so you can see them next to each other, and that'll be a good reference. And then I think as I'm talking about each shade, I'll insert some clips of lip swatches and what they look like on my face, specifically with this look. I haven't even filmed that yet, but I think I'm just going to throw on the most recent Capitulo of El Dragon and live my best life as I do lip swatches. Sounds like a perfect time. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. Okay, so the first shade I wanted to go ahead and talk about is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London, and this is actually what I'm wearing today, also along with their lip liner in the shade London, which I really appreciate that it has a matching lip liner. It makes it all easier, especially with it being a liquid lipstick. So I'm excited to include this for one because it is a drugstore option, and it is the only drugstore liquid lipstick that I have to mention today, but I really, really love this color. I bought it a few months back with some Ulta points, and it was definitely completely an inspired purchase by Hannah Louise Poston. I thought her last name was Poston for so long. I feel like a mess. But Hannah Louise Poston talked about this a lot, and she like raves about different brown lipsticks, and I just got suckered into it, and I'm really glad that I did because I feel like it genuinely is a very unique color. I just feel like it kind of pulls like this like really soft orangey brown, but it doesn't have a ton of depth to it. I feel like most other orangey brown lipsticks that I have are much deeper, whereas this is kind of like an orangey brown nude, I would call it. I mean, it's not exactly a nude, but it's on that range, so I really do love the color. I also find the formula super comfortable to wear. There's no transfer, which I appreciate. I actually used to have a red in this forever ago, and it was my first liquid lipstick, and I loved it. It might have been the shade Amsterdam, but I kind of just forgot about this formula, and it's honestly so good. It's actually probably the closest affordable option I would compare to the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula, which I love, just because it feels so comfortable. There's no transfer, and it doesn't really feel like there's much going on your lips. It feels like a little bit more when you use lip liner, in my personal opinion. But overall, it's very, very comfortable, not sticky at all, which, just in case you're curious, my preference with liquid lipstick is if it's sticky, I'm not about it. Like, I don't care if it's less hydrate or if it's more hydrating. Like, I do not want it to be sticky. I want it to be transfer proof. So I absolutely adore this color. Like, it is just so beautiful. Just going to go ahead and swatch it right here for you. So this is NYX London. Definitely recommend checking this out if you're into a kind of light brown orangey nude. Like I said, I feel like it's unique, and I did go through and swatch it with some other things in my collection, and it definitely holds its own, which I very much appreciate because it has a lot of other lipsticks to hold its own against. Okay, so I only have one lip gloss to mention, and this is the other drugstore product that I have to talk about today, and this is the e.l.f. Cosmetics x Alissa Ashley Gloss. I'm not sure if this is available anymore, which I just thought of now. I'm like, that was probably be something good to look up. But, you know, I'll talk about it anyways because maybe someone owns this and forgot about it, and this would be a good reminder to pull it back out. I feel like I'm gravitating towards this gloss for fall just because it is a darker gloss for me personally. It has a little bit of a warm undertone. I'm not even sure exactly how to describe it. It's kind of like almost like a softer red, but like a muted red, I think is what I would call it. A muted orangey red with a glossy finish, and it is pretty opaque. It's definitely not a super sheer gloss. It looks a little bit darker on my lips, and it's not that it's a super dark shade, it's just that it's much darker than all the other lip glosses I tend to reach for, which is why I feel like this is more fall for me, and that's when I want to use it and gravitate towards it. So when I think of a fall lip gloss, I think of the e.l.f. x Alissa Ashley, so I do really like this one. Alright, next I have two liquid lipsticks from a really cool indie brand called Klarity Cosmetics that has a ton of liquid lipstick shades, and they're all so unique, so it was kind of hard to choose which two I wanted to talk about because I didn't want to talk about every single fall lippy that I've ever owned in my life. I wanted to really key into my favorites, so part of my favorites would be the things that are the most unique because I feel like that's what I like to kind of shout out. That's what I gravitate towards. So this first one is called Tetris, which here's what it looks like. It's kind of like a softer cool tone brown in the tube, but when you apply it to your lips it does definitely deepen a little bit, and it has a touch of like a yellowy undertone to it. It's definitely a very, very cool lippy. I remember I wore this for a video. I can't even remember what I was talking about. I remember feeling so good in it, and it's the first time I ever got like a hate comment on my lipstick, but I don't even care. Like, it is such a cool color. It's definitely not, it's not for everyone. It's like a baby poop color, honestly, which, you know, most people don't want baby poop on their lips, but apparently I do. Was not expecting this conversation to go this way. So here's what it looks like swatched out. As you can see, it's just a really cool mustardy light brown shade. Again, it's not super dark. It's kind of on like the nude spectrum while still being a very cool, interesting color. So I do really love this one, and I need to use it again very soon. It's just such a unique tone. And then even more unique, honestly, well, actually, I don't know. These are both pretty unique. So this shade is Ugg Boots, and as you can see, it's basically like a mustard yellow. Like, mustard yellow. Like, yeah, let me buy that for my lips. So it's a, I mean, it's basically swatches exactly what you would expect. It is a true mustard yellow. It has a nice little amount of depth to it, and I do really like it. I think it's interesting. It's kind of one of those lipsticks. I feel like these ones, you can do a look and then like choose to use this, but this is the kind of lipstick I pick, kind of build the look around the lipstick rather than the lipstick around the look. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do really like it. I appreciate how unique it is. So if you are into a super yellow color, then you might like this. I do like this formula. I feel like it's overall pretty comfortable on the lips. It does dry down and it's pretty much transfer proof, but I do find that it kind of over time it doesn't last as well as like Dose of Colors per se, which is my favorite liquid lipstick formula. So if you were to wear these out, it's something I would bring with. It's something I would expect to have to kind of touch up a little bit, maybe perhaps, which I know is not everyone's favorite with liquid lipsticks, but when it comes to how unique the colors are, I think that they're worth it, definitely. All right, next I feel like is a iconic fall lipstick, and I don't know how I could do this video without mentioning it. This is the Kathleen Lights Miami Fever liquid lipstick, which is honestly really old. It's in the old packaging. I think that this liquid lipstick is still available, honestly, and good for them because I know it was like supposed to be limited edition, but it's honestly such a good shade that I'm glad that it's still available. So I'll go ahead and swatch it for you guys. There is Miami Fever. It is so beautiful. It's just like the perfect rusty orangey shade, and I absolutely love that. I die for those kind of colors. This is not my favorite formula just because it is more of like that comfortable feeling to where you can feel it on the lips. It's not as drying, but it's not completely transfer proof. So I remember getting this formula and like thinking like, what, like, why is everyone talking about this? Why does everyone love it so much? I'm definitely not on the Ofra liquid lipstick bandwagon. Like, they're fine. Like, I can, there's a color I really like, I can definitely wear it, but it's not like my go-to. However, with Miami Fever, like, I'm willing to use a formula that I don't 100% love just because the color is so beautiful, and this was the first shade that really got me into these kind of really rusty orangey tones that I absolutely love now. and kind of opened up that door. So I think that this is the most beautiful fall color. I never picked up Havana Nights, although I always wanted to, which was the other like darker kind of fall ready shade. And then I remember Kathleen Lights mixing those two together and it made a beautiful shade. So I don't know what I'm talking about it, but I do really, really like this color. I think it's stunning. And if you are watching this video and you're someone who likes more of a comfortable formula and you have different preferences than me, why can't I speak? Maybe you will like this more than I do as far as the formula goes, and it could be a good option for you. All right, next I wanted to go ahead and mention one of my favorite shades from Kylie Cosmetics. This is the shade Ginger, which last year they did like a sale, like buy one get one free on lip kits, and I bought a few of colors that I'd been wanting for a while, and I was kind of back and forth on getting this shade, but I decided to go ahead and get it just because Ginger has been my nickname for like my whole life for obvious reasons, and that's why I ended up getting it. But I actually do really, really love it. Again, it's kind of on like that rusty, warm kind of side, but it's a little bit darker than Miami Fever and a little bit more brown. So I find this to be a little bit more of a wearable version of Miami Fever. It's not quite as orange if you don't love a super orange lip, but it still gives kind of the same effect. I do actually like the Kylie formula. I think that overall it's pretty comfortable, not too thick or anything, and it does dry down all the way, which, like I said, is very important for me. I actually do have some other Kylie lips that I really love as well, like Brown Sugar is such a nice light brown shade, and then I feel like there's one called Pumpkin that I also really, really love. I feel like I wore that recently, but I have no idea where it is, so I can't mention either of those, but I do love them as well, and I think that I did lip swatches of them in the past, so if I can find that video, I'll link it down below, but I do really, really like Ginger. All right, next I have 4 different liquid lipsticks from Dose of Colors, which is my favorite formula. I have a ton of them back there. I've got some up here in their limited edition packaging, and I just really love them. In fact, I had like 8 of them in this box, and I'm like, okay, I need to chill out a little bit and just like zone in again on my absolute favorites. So I'm not doing them in order of favorites, but I kind of tried to keep similar colors together just as I go along the color scheme. So next I wanted to go ahead and talk about Campfire. I accidentally put all my lipsticks in this box, which has the shavings of eyeliner, so I'm like making everything a mess. But this is the shade Campfire, and again, it's more of like that rusty orangey tone. This one I feel like is definitely a little bit brighter than the other previous shades, but it does dry down a little bit darker. So there is Campfire. So yeah, it has a little bit more of a brightness to it. So I mean, I feel like that could honestly be a good like transition from summer to fall type of shade, but still very fall in my opinion, if you want to do a little bit of a brighter lip while still having, you know, that in-between orangey tone. I do really, really like this color, and I think it's pretty unique. And then next I have the shade Brick, which is one of my favorite like go-to reds for fall. It's a brick red. Shocker. So I just really, really love this one. I mean, I feel like it's just like classic, like a just really nice deep red. Can't go wrong. And I don't really, I do like red lipstick, but I don't really gravitate towards bright reds during the fall. So if I'm going to be wearing a red, this will be it. And also for like New Year's and like winter in general, Brick. Next I have the shade Aesthetic, which was the collaboration with ILoveZaraE. And if I remember correctly, last time I was on the Dose of Colors website, this is still available for purchase on there, even though this was limited edition. I should have swatched this. Actually, I mean, I guess it'll work out. This is such a beautiful rusty orangey shade, and it's pretty much almost the exact same as Miami Fever. Maybe a touch more orange, but as you can see, this is Miami Fever here. This is Aesthetic there, so they are very, very similar colors, and I definitely prefer Aesthetic just because I prefer the formula. I'm more likely to reach for this one. I also really love the blush nude packaging. I think it's stunning. So similar colors, just in case you're curious, or maybe you own Miami Fever and you've heard me talk about this, then maybe seeing them swatch next to each other will help. Alright, last but not least is probably my all-time favorite liquid lipstick for fall, and honestly, I will not be surprised if I start running out of product in this because it's probably the liquid lipstick that I've worn the absolute most, and I've recommended so many times. I know many people have bought this because of me. So this is the shade Mondays, and it is just the most beautiful, perfect fall liquid lipstick. I can't even describe it, but I'm gonna try. It's basically like, it kind of has like a reddy look to it, but it's very muted. So there's what it looks like right there. I don't know if you can tell. It's just something about the tone, especially for my fair skin. I feel like it is the most wearable fall liquid lipstick. Like, it goes with everything, and I love the undertones. I just love the depth that it is. I feel like it's perfect. It's not too dark. Like, literally, like, I've worn this everywhere, like grocery shopping, to church, for videos, like whatever it may be. Like, I've worn this liquid lipstick and I felt great. Like, I didn't feel like, sometimes like I don't, like with my eyeshadow, like I'll wear the most loud look ever and I don't care, but with lipstick sometimes I'm a little bit more like, not insecure, but I'm just a little bit more picky about what lipsticks I want to wear in certain situations. But like, no matter what, like, I will go towards this, and I love it. Especially just like a very soft glam where it's like just minimal coverage, a really beaming highlight, a little brow gel, some mascara, and this is like my favorite look ever. I feel like it's kind of funny describing how much I love this because I look at the swatch, I look at it in the bottle, and honestly this was just a shade that I bought because it was on sale, and it was like the Ulta 50% off sale, and I was like I wanted to try the liquid lipsticks. It's just one that I ended up grabbing. I didn't have any attachment to it, and so when I started wearing it, it was just such a surprise. Like, it's hard to describe because it's honestly, the reason I love this so much is just because of the way it makes me feel when I wear it. Like, it's just my color kind of thing. So those are my 10 favorite fall lippies. I feel like it's kind of a weird little swatch thing, but you can definitely see the color scheme that I am drawn towards. 100%. I used to really like different like berry tones, and like I've gone through phases of what my perfect fall lippies are, but this right here like is everything. The only thing is, like I said, brown sugar from Kylie and pumpkin something. I love both of those as well. Alright, so that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love to hear your thoughts down below and what your all-time favorite fall lippy is. Not that I need to be tempted to buy more fall lippies or any lippies at all ever again, but I'd still love to hear. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.